I stopped counting calories and I got leaner. But the weird part, I didn't just get leaner, I stayed leaner longer than I did when I was tracking calories. But that's not the part that changed my life. The real shift, it rewired how I saw food and how I saw myself. And it had nothing to do with nutrition science. It was something deeper. Because I wasn't eating for fuel, I was eating for control, for certainty, to feel like I was doing exactly what I needed to do to get in shape. So before you count your calories for the 100th time today, ask yourself this: what if tracking isn't helping, but it's hurting? Because if fat loss still feels like a maths exam, you need to hear this. This video isn't about demonizing calorie counting. In fact, it's really helped me get into extremely good shape before. But it also gave me food anxiety, binge cycles, and a sense of control that quickly turned into an obsession. It made me feel like I was doing everything right, even when it wasn't okay. And it worked until real life didn't fit the plan. And then it broke. So in today's video, I'm going to show the exact moment I realized that tracking was backfiring, the invisible signs that it might be hurting your fat loss gains, and the simple structure I use to lose fat without tracking every bite. Let's get into it. In 2021, I was shredded, every gram logged, every calorie tracked. I knew the macros in an apple like I knew my own phone number. Put that on your CV. I thought I was in control, but the truth is, control was controlling me. One weekend I visited friends, no calories, no labels, no scale, just dinner. And I panicked. I made an excuse and faked a headache and I left early. And I binged on my own. I remember sitting in my car holding a tub of Baskin-Robbins peanut butter chocolate ice cream and asking myself, what is wrong with me? Why can I not just be normal around food? And maybe you've done that too. Smiled through dinner with friends and then went home and punished yourself. There's nothing wrong with you. You're just stuck in a loop that rewards you for being perfect. Punishes you the second you're human. It's a setup for failure. Calorie deficit is the only thing that matters. You've heard it. I've said it, and technically it's true. But here's the line: knowing the numbers isn't the same as building a life that works. Tracking gives you the illusion of control, but it doesn't guarantee you the consistency. And consistency and repeatability is actually what drives fat loss. Not all people fail because they don't know what to do. They fail because they can't stick to it, and no one has taught them how to build the habits around real life when chaos strikes. Not textbook scenarios. So they burn out and they break. They try and track their way out of emotional eating instead of fixing what's underneath it. Think about someone like Jess. This is just an example. She tracks every gram and she never misses a meal. Not that missing meals are important. The moment her schedule changes and she has to go eating out with friends, she spirals out of control. Not because she's weak, but because she's built her results on rules, not rhythm. What most people are missing is not the knowledge, but the rhythm that's necessary to get back on track. To get back on track when life gets messy. You don't need precision, you need peace. And you don't need more rules. I think for some people, tracking might be peace. But for others like me, it becomes a cage. So if tracking gives you peace, keep it. But if it becomes a leash, then maybe it's time to set yourself free. If you've ever thought, I'll get back on track again Monday, or I just need to be stricter this week, you've just been taught that more control fixes everything. When in reality, it might actually be making it worse. That's where I was. And the worst part is, the more that I tracked, the more I rebelled. The more I tried to control food, the more the food controlled me. I didn't quit cold turkey. I needed something solid, something that I could follow without feeling shackled to it. But before I ditched the tracker, I had to earn the right to go intuitive. I needed to understand how food works, how much protein that I need, what keeps me full, what throws me off. And calorie counting can teach you that. Because if you skip that step, then this won't work. You cannot build a structure without a foundation. So I built one for myself. And you can too. It wasn't glamorous, but it was real and repeatable in life. And here's what that looks like for me. Tracking and learning about food was my foundation, my compass, but not a cage. I ate mostly the same or similar meals during the week, no decision fatigue. During the week, in the morning, I go to this little cafe across the road. I ordered 2 burrata sandwiches with chicken filling in the middle and some sauce, no shame in that. I also order 4 boiled eggs. I have a cup of tea with milk, sugar. I walked 8 to 10K steps daily because burning fat comes from movement, in a calorie deficit, not necessarily exercise and having to push your body to the limits. I make protein intake a non-negotiable to keep me full. I allow for flexibility during the weekends without any guilt because my calorie deficit during the week allows me to do that. It's not perfect, but it's livable, and livable is what lasts forever. Just to be clear, I still use calorie counting when necessary, even though I don't remember the last time I did that. Touch wood. If I need to adjust and go to maintenance, or I notice that the scale is creeping up too much, I'll track again, not out of fear, but to make sure that my new routine, my rhythm that I use during the week still aligns with my goals. It's a tool, it's not a prison. And if that idea feels scary to you, like letting go might feel like losing progress, that's perfectly okay. You don't need to completely abandon the tracking. You just need to stop depending on it. Real progress doesn't crack under pressure. It flexes, it adapts. It sticks even when life punches you back. And that's when my body fat started dropping and staying off. Here's the real test. If calorie counting is helping you stay consistent, great. But if food feels like homework and meals feel like exams, then maybe it's time to rethink it. Ask yourself the following. Are you more anxious around food now than when you started tracking? Do weeks feel like rebellion to you? Do you stop tracking and then spiral out of control? Do you trust yourself to eat without a plan? If you had to stop tracking for a week, would you panic? Because even if the idea of letting go makes you feel unsafe, that's not freedom, that's dependence in disguise. Discipline is showing up even without rules. Obsession is needing rules to feel safe. So no, I'm not anti-calories, but I am anti-perfection. Because I've done perfection, the spreadsheets, the guilt, the obsession. And it got me lean into incredibly good shape, but it never helped keep me there. And what finally worked was something different. A rhythm, a system that actually fit my life. In the next video, I'll break down the exact 4 shifts that I use to go from 23% body fat to 8% body fat. Without obsessive tracking, without the brutal workout, or losing my mind. If you're tired of starting over, that video blueprint is for you.